Hi guys, welcome back to your week 13 part 2 fluency test. Question 13, make y the subject. To make y the subject, we need to get y on its own. In our case, we can see that it's a little multiplication between y and the brackets. So to get rid of it, we just need to do the inverse. So in our case, all we need to do is multiply both sides by the bracket. Then we'll get rid of it. So we multiply both sides of our equations with 2 plus x. So that will leave us straight away with y. And on the other side, a over 2 plus x. In this case, because your subject was not in the bracket, you did not need to expand the bracket. Question 14, complete the table. Okay, we need to substitute the values of x that have been given to us. So we got, for the first one, 6 lots of -1 plus 2, -6 plus 2, -4, that goes in there. 6 lots of 1 plus 2, 6 plus 2 is 8, and so on. As long as you are careful with your substitution and your signs, you should be fine with this type of questions. 6 lots of 5 plus 2, 30 plus 2, and that's it. Question 15 is a factorizing question. So we need to find the factors that are in common between these terms. So we have one term here, another one with a minus, and a third one. So let's break this down into factors that are in common. The highest common factor between all those three numbers is 5. So I definitely need to make 5 a factor. So let's go. For 25, I have 5 times 5. Then I have x squared. So I do that times x times x. So I rewrote this first term as that. I haven't done anything to it, just rewriting it. Negative, because negative 35 is made out of -7 times a positive 5, because I need to have a 5 because of the factors, times x. For the last one, I have positive 15. That's made out of 3 times 5 to give me 15. And then I have a y behind it. So I rewrote this expression. Now I need to find what's in common. So then that comes out of the brackets. I can see that I have a 5 in there. I have a 5 in there, and I have a 5 in there. Those come out of the bracket, and everything that you're left with stays inside. So 5, I have 2 x's here, so x squared. I have a -7 and an x there. And I have a 3 and a y on the last term. And you have finished factorizing. Question 16, simplify. Index laws, we have the same base on the numerator. When the bases are the same, we put the base down and we add the powers. 5 add 5 is 10. And then we have x over 7. Now we're dividing. When we have the bases the same, we put the base down and we subtract the powers. 10 take away 7 is 3. Question 17. If a person runs at a speed of 12 kilometers per hour, how far? So you're looking for distance in your answer. How far? Okay, let's draw our boxes. We know that the speed, distance, time is done with box method. So we have kilometers and we have minutes. We know that 1 hour has 60 minutes. The question is given us 12 kilometers in 1 hour, and it's asking us for 15 minutes. This box here, 15 minutes. So we need to find the distance. Your connection is upside down. How many 15s into 60? Well, that's 4. So we do the same to the other side. 12 divided by 4 is a 3. So your answer is 3 kilometers. We don't have per hour because it's distance, how far. So the person traveled 3 kilometers. Question 18. Estimate. Perfect. To estimate, we know we need to round to 1 SF. So 4 is too weak. It does not change the 1. Negative. Draw the line. 6, it's now too strong. The decider is too strong, so they'll change the 2 into a 3. This still is cubed. Plus 1 is too weak, and it will not change the 2. So it'll be a 20. Now I work it out. Indices first because of BIDMAS. Leave everything else as it is. 1 take away 27 is a negative 26 plus 20. So your answer there is a negative 6. Question 19, there's a solve of your SIM equation. I am going to write that on the side here because I haven't got much space. And I feel that a lot of you are having gaps on this. So please, when you listen to the video, follow the steps that I'm going to write down. So we have a SIM equation. The reason that I know it's a SIM equation is because I have 2 equations, 2 unknowns. I cannot solve it as it is, so I need to get rid of one of the letters in order for me to solve. So step 1, label A, B. So write the steps in your book so you have them for next time and for any tests that you need to do. Label A and B. Now we have step 2. We need to make the coefficient, so the number before X or Y, the same. I check, in my case, this coefficient here, so the number before the X's is the same. So I don't need to make anything. So the step still stands for when it's not. Make coefficients. I'm just going to write coefficient the same. So that's done. Let's move on to step 3. I need now to eliminate the X's. I need to eliminate the letter where numbers before it are the same. So I'm going to write the step as eliminate X or Y. So let's just do that. You're going to ask yourself, how can I get rid? What operation do I need to do if I have 4 and negative 4? But obviously only if you add, so 4, add a negative 4, you get nothing. So you're going to add these 2 equations together. These go, 4 take away 4 is nothing. That's your whole point. You need to eliminate one of them. 2 add 1, so 2y add 1y is 3y. And 15 add 6 is a 21. Perfect. So we eliminated one of them. Step 4 is to solve. So now we have only one letter. We can now solve. So we divide them both by 3. So y is equal to 7. Perfect. We found one of the letters. However, we need to find the values for x is 2. So step 5. Substitute. So substitute the value that you found into the equation A. So let's do that. So I have 4 lots of x's plus 2 lots of 7, because I know that now. That gives me a 15. 4 x's plus 14 is a 15. So all I'm doing, I am substituting y into A so I can find x. That's the whole point of it. Okay, so 4x's, I take away 14 on both sides. So that leaves me with 1. Let's rewrite it there. So 4x's are 1. Now I need to divide both by 4, so then I can eliminate, and x equals to 1/4. I found x2, but before I move on, I do the last step to see if I've done it right. So I substitute x and y into b to check. This is to check that you've got them right. It's pretty important that you do that. So I have a -4 multiplied by 1/4 that we found. That's equation B, plus 7. So I'm substituting. This is equation B. I'm substituting my values onto B. This should give me a 6. So -4 multiplied by 1/4 gives me a -1, plus 7 is 6. 6 equals to 6, so I have done it right. And these are all the steps that you need to solve the same equation. Please write them down so you have them for your test. Question 20. It's a division by decimals. We know that's not possible, so let's use our fraction skills to help ourselves. We make equivalent fractions. Our aim is to have an integer. So we multiply both of them by 10. 0.12 multiplied by 10 is 1.2. Then we do bus stop. (1.2) and 6. 6 into 1 doesn't go. Lift the decimal point. 6 into 12 goes 2. And that will be your answer. Okay. Moving on to question 21. Expand and simplify. We know now that every number or letter on the first bracket is going to multiply the second one. So x times x, x squared. X times -1, -x. -5 times x, -5x. -5 times -1 is a +5. Two negatives make a positive. X squared, I collect like terms. They'll give you a -6 plus 5. And that is finished. You expanded and simplified by collecting like terms. Question 22, factorize. So we're going to be doing the opposite of what we just did. And as you can see, this equation that we have here is exactly the same as the one that we just expanded. So immediately you should have thought, okay, I am doing the opposite of what I did. So put the brackets in, and we had x minus 5 and x minus 1. Straight away, if you did it yourself, you should be able to tell that. Question 23. Calculate the area, leave the answer in terms of pi. What that means is do not substitute pi. So leave the pi as it is. So we have area equals pi radius squared. So we leave pi as it is. It doesn't want us to put the number of the pi. We just leave it. Times radius is 4, so 4 squared. They'll give us pi times 16. And it's telling us leave in terms of pi. Okay, fair enough. Answer is area equals to 16 pi, because in maths, letters go after the numbers. Even if you said pi times 16 is still correct, but it's a lot neater if you said 16 pi. Question 24. Find the integer solutions for this inequality. Okay, we know now how to do this. We have number line, we have a -8, and we have a -2. So all the numbers that are in between those two numbers need to go in our list. And then we check, do we have an equal sign here to include the 8? The answer is no. So I start with -7, -6, -5, -4, -3. So all the numbers that are in here, excluding the -8 and excluding the -2, because they are not part of this inequality. They are not included, and the equal sign tells us that, because that's missing. Question 25. Calculate x with reasons. Okay, we have angles and parallel lines. So we need to look for Z or F angles. At the same time, we have the C ones. So I get given 120. So I need to work with what I get given. I'm going to see the 120, think of the F like that. So that's the 120. So I can see that it's an F in here. So if I grab another color and show you, this F, it's upside down. That's my F. It's still an F, it's just upside down. So I know that this angle is 120. Angles that are in the shape of an F are called corresponding angles. So now that I know that that angle there is 120, I know that angles in a straight line are equals to 180. And you might say, well, madam, where do you see the straight line? I show you. So that's your straight line. That's the one I'm talking about. That's the straight line. So one of them is 120. So the other one is 180. Take away the 120. They'll leave us with x, which is equal to 60. Okay. Question 26. We have been given this shape. It's a four-sided shape. It's not a regular four-sided shape, but it's still four sides. And we know that the sum of angles in a four-sided shape, regardless of its name, is 360. So we know that we have 360 to work with. All of these angles need to add up to 360. So let's just do that. So we add them up. So let's start with a 4x plus 2x plus another 2x plus another x. These are the angles that I have been given here. So all I'm doing, I'm adding those angles together, and I know they must give me 360. 4 add 2 add 2 add 1. So 6 add 2 is 8, add 1 is 9. I have 9 x's, and those are 360 worth. Okay, so now I'm dividing both by 9. I'm solving for x. That's what the question asks me. So x is equal to 40, because 9 times 4 is 36. And you calculated out x in this question. So that's the last question for this fluency. Please mark your work and send the photos to myself and Sir. Have a nice day, everybody.